أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء وسيد المرسلين حبيبنا وحبيب إله العالمين أبا القاسم المصطفى محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. Our dear viewers, welcome to Season 2, Episode 2 of Alwasi Vibes. Tonight, I welcome Sayyid Hasan Almodarresi, who joins me in this episode where we will discuss some of the Islamic events that have happened in the last week, and also we'll be discussing other topics, inshallah. سيدنا السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
عظم الله أجورنا
وأجوركم إن شاء الله. الله يسلمكم.
Of course, the event that we're commemorating this week is the martyrdom of our Imam Musa Alkadham, our 7th Imam, salamullahi alayh. Let's start with Imam Musa Alkadham, salamullahi alayh. And let's start with a brief bio on the Imam, and then we'll discuss some of his qualities and most important qualities.
You know, in the month of Rajab, we start with the birthday of Imam Muhammad ibn Ali al-Baqir, Imam al-Hadi, and then we continue with birthdays and martyrdoms. In the very close to the very end of the month of Rajab al-Asab, we have the martyrdom of Imam Musa ibn Ja'far al-Kadhim, salamullah alayhi. We have the Isra al-Mi'raj, we have the Mab'ath, and then we enter the month of Sha'ban. And the month of Sha'ban is a
joyful month.
There is no martyrdom, no commemoration of any kind, unless someone brings something and they tell us someone passed away. But please don't. So when it comes to Imam Musa ibn Ja'far al-Kadhim, and I was seeing the Mashaya, the people that were going to Baghdad. So many people. They said this year there were 15 million.
I saw the bridge was moving up and down this.
Very dangerous, but that is the word of Imam al-Kadhim, salamullah alayh. Jisr al-Baghdad, this where the Imam's body was laid down, and the Shia came later on to carry him to his burial, and Imam Ali ibn Musa Rada also came. So Imam al-Kadhim is our 7th Imam. A mini bio about this very beautiful character, Imam Musa ibn Ja'far al-Kadhim, is that he's the 7th Imam. He's the Imam that was named after a prophet, Ulul Azm, that is Musa. He grew up in a very hard time. He was born and grew up in the time of the Abbisides. He's the son of Imam al-Sadiq, salamullah alayh. Imam Ja'far ibn Muhammad al-Sadiq. And you know, the time of Imam al-Baqir and Imam al-Sadiq, they were the golden age of Islam. It was a good time.
Because there was a transitioning period between Banu Umayyah and Banu al-Abbas.
Yeah, the Abbasides and the Umayyads, there was this civil war, and the Abbasides won with the slogan that we come to give back the right to the rightful people.
Exactly, and I think the Imams utilized that opportunity where it's a false pretense, it's a false flag. We're here to return the rightful right of rule to this, because Al-Abbas, who they come from, are descendants of, is the uncle of Rasulullah. So they say, we are the rightful, we should be in ruling. So Imam al-Baqir and Imam al-Sadiq, who have narrated the most ahadith for us, they use that time to teach and to spread the message, because Banu al-Abbas, who we will go on inshallah and we'll discuss how vicious they are, and subhanallah, many tyrants you see today, the biggest tyrants of our time, the likes of Saddam Hussein, lanatullah alayhi, and others, when they first start, they don't start vicious, they don't start aggressive straight away. There's a period where they're trying to get people to like them, they're trying to establish their rule, and then their true face comes out.
Hasan, that's right. So they started with that presence. They gave this slogan that we are here to give back the right to Ahlul Bayt. The Hasanis, actually, they were with them. The Hasanis, the sons of Imam Hasan al-Mujtaba, they were with them. So Abu Muslim al-Khurasani and Saffah, they were together, and the Hasanis. When Abdullah bin Hasan, he passed away, they started this hatred
campaign
toward the Hassanis.
Yeah, and they began attacking Imam al-Hasan.
Imam al-Hasan. So most of the ahadith you see that, not the ahadith, but the fabricated
falsehoods,
the lies about Imam al-Hasan al-Mujtaba were told in the time of the Abbisides. Yeah. That he's a womanizer, that he
chasing worldly desires. He wasn't fit for rule.
He was a coward.
And all that to justify their rule. And so that's why history that we have today, that we've received today, and many of the narrations that we've received today, they were falsified and changed for political reasons.
That's right.
For reasons of rule. The ahadith were burnt, ahadith were changed, ahadith were hidden. History was hidden. Many of history that has Islamic history hasn't reached us in its most accurate form because of political reasons.
That's
and
right.
Because people want to rule. And so Imam al-Kadham, when he was in his childhood, his early childhood, he was living in the time of Al-Mansur.
That's right.
Al-Abbasi, who was again a vicious ruler.
Very much. Yeah.
Killed the Alawis and built a city on top of their bodies. And then the story that I relate to Harun al-Abbasi and his viciousness is the story of Hamid ibn Qahtaba. And this is a very, very moving story where his friend comes to see him one day and he sees Hamid, it's the holy month of Ramadan, and he's sitting in the street and he's eating bread. And says to him, Hamid, what are you doing? It's the holy month of Ramadan and you're eating food, you've broken your fast. He said, leave me alone. I have a guaranteed seat in hellfire. He says, what do you mean? What have you done? What could you have done for you to break your fast and say, that's it, I am not going to be included in the rahmah of Allah? He says, Harun summoned me to his castle. He says, yes, what can I do for you? He says, Hamid, what are you willing to give for me? He says to him, I'm willing to give my wealth for you. He says, no, that's not enough. Go back. Go away. He says, summon me a second time. He says, Hamid, what are you willing to give for me? He says, I'm willing to sacrifice my children for you. He says, no, that's not enough. Go back. He says, a third time he summons me. He says, what are you willing to sacrifice for me? He says, I'm willing to sacrifice my wealth, my children, and myself. I have nothing else to give for you. He says, no, that's not enough. So Hamid asks him, he says, oh Harun, what do you want me to give for you, to sacrifice for you? He says, I want you to give up your religion, your deen. Give me your religion, sell me your religion. And Hamid says, okay, I will sell. And so, as a result of selling his religion for Harun, Harun sets up 3 rooms for him. And he gives him a sword. And he goes in the first room, there are 20 young men. The middle room has 20 middle-aged men. And the third room has 20 elderly men. All the sons of Ali and Fatima, salamullahi alayhim, all Alawis. And so he goes into the first room, kills 20 of these young Alawis, goes into the second room, and he kills, in cold blood, will kill 20 middle-aged Alawis, sons of Rasulullah. In the third room, the 20 elderly men, he begins killing them one by one until the last man. This is where he had that moment. The last man stops him and says, oh Hamid, what are you going to say to Rasulullah on the day of judgment when you've just killed 60 of his grandchildren in cold blood? And so it was that point where he began shaking, began trembling. He dropped his sword. And then he ended up killing that man and finishing what Harun asked for him, that he's going to sell him his hereafter to satisfy him, to please this vicious tyrant. So these were vicious times.
And for
these
what?
Tyrants who have this, ability to kill so easily in cold blood, to eradicate. I think their mission was definitely to eradicate all of the descendants of Rasulullah, to leave none of them left.
None of them left.
Yeah.
Of course, this hatred comes from jealousy.
Yeah.
Hatred comes from where they know that this doesn't belong to them, the Khilafah. The Caliphate belongs to the rightful people, and they are the descendants of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the descendants of Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib. And why? Why would you get someone like Imam Musa ibn Ja'far al-Kadham, imprison him? What threat does he have over you? Yeah. You have a whole kingdom at your disposal. You're doing whatever you want. Yet you have this
They
kind
still
of
have the fee, because whenever you're illegitimate, you know you're not meant to be there. That person will pose a threat. The rightful person will pose a threat to you, no matter how strong it may seem that you are on the outside and how powerful you are. But the threat is always there. It's in the back of their mind. Say that it lives in the back of their mind.
There's something I always wondered, even though when I was very young, and I want to get your input over this. That do the tyrants enjoy their life? They know this is not theirs. They know they oppressing people. Do they enjoy it?
I don't think so. My personal opinion, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like a sickness. It's like a hunger.
Yes.
Hunger for power, but you get power. So it's like greed, saying. So greedy people will never be satisfied. They'll never be happy because they always want more. You've got power, but I want to take over. I want to take over more countries. I want to occupy more. And if you see these tyrants, they're always hungry for more blood.
I want to occupy an island.
I want to take, yeah, exactly. So there's that thirst and that greed. And even in psychology today, when they look at the millionaires of the world and the CEOs of the world, they find that they have the highest rates of depression, highest rates of anxiety, highest rates of drug use. And when they interview them, they're all, the millionaire, what's your goal in life? Is like, I want to achieve 4 times what I have. I want $4 million. The one who owns $4 million wants even more, double,
million,
triple, 20 million. And so they're living in a constant state of anxiety because they're attached to worldly things. Yes. They're attached to the stock market. They're attached to money. And they have so much more worldly things to lose that they end up living in stress.
Yet these people, they live and they keep killing. Mahdi al-Abbasi, when I think it was Mansour al-Dawaniqi, his father, he passed away, he died, Mansour. He wrote to his son a will. And he said to him that after my death, go to the basement. So he came to his mother after the death of his father. He said, my father has written, go to this basement. She said, let's go. I take you. I know which one he's talking about. We go there. So the hadith says that they went into the basement and this stench came over him and just very bad smell. A dungeon. So he turned the torches on, the lights on, not the lights, but the flames. And he saw this hundreds or maybe thousands of skulls. And every one of them had a name just tag. Written on it that this is the person's, belongs to this person, that person. And all of them were Alawis. They were all.
He built the city. They built their city on top of the bodies.
That he started shaking, and his mother said that to him. When I read this, and I say, look, they know, they know. She said to him that this is the price for you to keep this kingdom to rule. And
what did he end up doing? Al-Mansur, same thing exactly.
Yeah,
his father had a dungeon. He actually orders the builders, and I couldn't even understand how is this even physically possible. So he orders his builders to kill Alawi, place him, and then build a pole on top of him, around him. So the whole city that they built was built on top of that.
The Umayyads, they ruled for close to 98 years. The Abbisides, they ruled for 730 something years. And their ending is amazing, that they were conquered. Baghdad, whole of Iraq was conquered by the Mongols, by Holako Khan. He conquered them. He's a grandson of Genghis Khan. And the way he conquered them, and then later on, Holako actually, not him, but his son became Shia. Because of the influence of the ulama on them. And the Shia ulama, the scholars, they entered into the courts of the Mongols, and they convinced them to observe religion, not to burn it down, because you know how Mongols were. They enter a city, burn the whole thing down, kill the man, take the woman as captive.
I'd love to pause there, because just that point just came to my head.
Yes,
that they ruled for 730 years. Banu Umayyah ruled for 98 years before them, and they conquered many areas. They went to Europe and Spain and all over.
Yes.
Yet none of that remained. None of that Islam was true Islam. As soon as they were gone, they were removed, everyone went back to the old religion, because they saw a completely different face of Islam. Yet the Shia were able to convert the Mongol, the grandson of Holako, to become a Shia. And that goes back to really, you must think deeply about this. If you're really contemplating these two sides, that where is the truth and which one is the true religion? that when you have a religion that's based on true knowledge and true wisdom and the true Islam that was sent to Rasulullah by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that you're able to convince people by an action, by a word sometimes, to believe in your religion. Whereas these people used their sword and used force and went to conquer, as they say, conquer all of these nations, yet they weren't successful.
They weren't successful. Yeah. And today, if you look, Imam Musa ibn Ja'far Kadhim, Baghdad, 15 million people visit him.
Yeah.
Harun al-Abbasi is buried actually in Mashhad al-Muqaddasa.
Yes, in the same
same
place.
At the feet of Imam Ali ibn
so
Musa
when you visit Imam al-Rida, Harun is actually buried there.
And you curse
a lot of people don't know that.
You curse Harun. You enter, you curse Harun, and you say salam to Imam Ali ibn Musa al-Rida. But the rest of them, for example, Ma'mun al-Abbasi, where is he buried?
No one knows.
You have to search it online. You find even if you search it online, there is no shrine for him. No one cares about him. And they talk about how vicious he was, how bloodthirsty he was. Mansur al-Dawaniqi, same thing. Harun al-Abbasi, the whole khulafa of Bani Abbas.
They ruled for a period of time.
Some of them ruled, the historians mention that the Abbisides, some of them ruled for a week or two, or a month or two.
Yeah. They were either killed or they died.
The Turks, actually the Ottomans, the Turks, because what happened was they used to buy them as assassins and give them a position in the army, make them a general or whatever. So when they became more, they start taking over. Yeah. And when they start taking over, they put the Khalifa, they say they appoint the Khalifa. Yeah. He becomes the Khalifa from Bani Abbas. And then they don't like him for some reason.
Take him out.
They take his eyes out. Yeah. One of the Khulafa of Bani Abbas, his name escapes me now, that he ruled for a week and a half. 1 week and a half. Yeah. And then the Turks, they didn't like him. Yeah. He took him out. He wasn't the right person. They took his eyes out. They took his eyes out. They threw him into the markets, in the streets. Yeah. And he used to run around and say, I was one day your Khalifa. Wow. And look at me right now. Another Khalifa, they started shooting arrows at him. They killed him. They crucified him. They killed him. They threw him out. And then they got his brother to rule. Yeah. Now you see with your own eyes, your own brother was killed. Now you are given this.
No, absolutely not. Power blinds. Yeah. Greed blinds.
Allah put it like this, because you come into power. I gave you the power. All right, you have the power. You become a tyrant. You kill awliya Allah. You kill the imams. You kill Imam Musa ibn Ja'far al-Kadhim. Imam Musa ibn Ja'far al-Kadhim, he was in a dungeon that he couldn't tell day from night. He couldn't lay down or stand up. That's how bad he was. The dungeon, the Tamura. They call it the Tamura. Tamura is this. Today, if you go to Baghdad and you say, I want to visit the Tamura of Imam Musa ibn Ja'far al-Kadhim, they take you there. And when you look inside, you say, really? He was there? Yes. And he's not just an ordinary person. He's an Imam.
Imam of the time.
He's infallible.
Yeah. And they know that. And there are many occasions, many stories from the life of the Imam, from his very young age all the way until when he was even in the prison, that the Imam, and subhanAllah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives these Imams this ilm and this knowledge where there's no doubt in anyone's mind. They weren't necessarily miracles and these great big things that you can see, but when a 5-year-old is able to answer a question that the philosophers of the time were having trouble with, when Abu Hanifa comes to ask the question of Imam al-Rida, and then Imam al-Kadhim, who's a 5 or 6-year-old, says, my father is busy, what do you have? What's the question? What's the issue? And he says to him, as-sayyi'atu min man. That was the big debate of the time. Who is actually committing the sin? And there was these 3 opinions, that God predetermined that you're going to do this action, so God is the one who's in control. Or God allowed you to sin. God gave me a hand and he gave me a leg and he gave me a mind, so he allowed me. He was a facilitator of the sin. Or the sin is from the person. And the Imam, at 5 years old, is able to give him an answer that truly shocked him. Abu Hanifa, who's the leader of the Hanafi school of thought, who was a student who learned from Imam al-Sadiq, and he answers him and he says, well, if you say that the sin is from God, God has promised to punish the wrongdoers, to punish the sinners. And if God predetermined and said you will sin, and he's in control of the sin, he's the one committing the sin, wal-'iyadu billah, then he cannot punish anyone. That's out of the question. Number two, if you say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a partner who facilitates, He's the one that helped you sin, He's the one that gave you the ability to sin, so then therefore He's also part of, the committing that sin, then there are two partners, and who's the most powerful partner? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So again, He can't punish the person. So He says to him, the only logical reason is that the sin is from the abd, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created them, gave them the ability to do wrong and to do right, and the abd is the one that commits the sin. As-sayyi'atu min al-abd. SubhanAllah, so a 5-year-old has that ilm and knowledge that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala placed within them. And then throughout his life, even in prison, the miracles where, the lion in the prison, and a few of the other stories where, I'm not sure if it was Imam Alkadham or another Imam who was imprisoned, where the woman who claimed that she was Zainab.
That's Imam Alkadham. Yeah.
Imam Alkadham, yeah.
And
mention that, if you can tell us about that story.
Yes, she claimed to be Zainab, that she came back. She was resurrected, and Imam Ali afdal salatu was salam here, if I'm not mistaken, Imam Alkadham, the word lions, that if you truly are Zainab, the lions wouldn't go in to eat you, because it's haram on them to, and they know, even the wild beasts, they know. Yeah. But of course they did eat her, and that was at the end of her. Imam Musa ibn Ja'far al-Kadhim, on top of all of that, I find his ahadith mostly to be character building. Yeah. He didn't have that time with the Shia to preach that much, because he was imprisoned. If you look all over the Ahl al-Bayt, all over, from the Imams, from Imam Ali to Imam Hasan al-Askari, not Imam al-Mahdi, to Imam al-Hasan al-Askari, all of them in total, the lifespan is 250 years. Yeah. That's not much. Yeah. We're talking about 11 Imams. All of them together, 250 years. Yeah. For example, Imam al-Jawad, how many years? Imam al-Jawad? 20, not long. Yeah, 25. 20. He became an Imam around 5 or 6. 5, that's it. The other Imams, the eldest of the Imams is Imam al-Mahdi, ajalallahu farajah. No, not Imam. We're not counting
Imam al-Sadiq.
Imam al-Sadiq.
Imam al-Sadiq was 65.
65, yes. And then after Imam al-Sadiq, 65, is Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib, 63. Same as the Prophet, 63. And then it comes to Imam al-Hussein.
Imam Sajjad also around 50 or over 50 years.
Yeah, so Imam al-Hussein is 58. Yeah. And then Imam al-Sajjad. And then we go down. Yeah. Altogether, in total, is 250 years. Yeah. So 250 years, we're talking about, you have an Imam, infallible. Yeah. They have the knowledge of the universe. You come and you put him in a dungeon, and you don't let the Imam teach. You don't let the Imam have his freedom. Exactly. What are you doing? Yeah. The only Imams that they had their freedom, somewhat freedom, is Imam al-Baqir and Imam al-Sadiq. That's why he says that I entered the masjid of Kufa, and I saw 4,000 sitting down, students. And they're all saying Haddathana al-Baqir, Haddathana al-Sadiq. Yeah.
And most of our narrations today, when you do a calculation on the amount of ahadith, thousands and thousands, over 5,000 ahadith from Imam al-Baqir, from Imam al-Sadiq, and the rest, a couple hundred from this Imam, maybe in less and less from everyone else, but the vast majority is from Imam al-Baqir. And Imam
whatever we got, we were fortunate to preserve. Because, throughout history, they burnt a lot of our hadith.
100%, yeah.
They threw them into the Euphrates, they burnt them, they destroyed them.
They falsified history, they falsified narrations, all for making sure that they stay in power. For political reasons, they were more than happy to change the entire Islamic history. Falsify, burn, get rid of ahadith,
we
narrations.
Should really thank our ulama, the madhin, the ones like they observe the religion, the hadith, Sheikh al-Kulayni for Usul al-Kafi, and
Sheikh
al-Mufid, Sheikh al-Tusi, Sheikh al-Baqir al-Majlisi, Bahar Anwar, Usul al-Kafi. Having those hadith right now is not an easy task. No. We're not talking about chat GPT. I call there and type in, give me this hadith or that. Allama al-Amini used to travel for weeks, months, years to get one hadith for his book Al-Ghadir.
Exactly. I mean, it wasn't exactly. That's a beautiful point, Sayyidina.
Yeah.
It wasn't a Google search and what hadith can I find, or even going to a library and having access to all of these. It was actually traveling physically, and that's why it took their entire lifetimes. They dedicated their entire life to combine these hadith and to verify. The other thing is you can get the hadith, but how long does it take to verify? You go through Almodarresi and who was narrated from, and this person that was narrated from,
right.
down the chain at that period, was he trusted or was he not trusted? And it's really a science, and it's really complicated and time consuming.
Even some of the books were by the ulama. For example, Sheikh al-Saduq.
Yeah.
We have historians mentioned that he wrote close to 20-30 books, but we have just few of them.
Yeah.
For example, Sayyid al-Mar'ash al-Najafi rahmatullah alayhi. If you go to Qom al-Muqaddasa, you see there is a library of Sayyid Mar'ash al-Najafi.
Yeah.
He started going around and just collecting the books, buying them, collecting them, and having them in his library known as Maktabat Sayyid Mar'ash al-Najafi. That one day he was working he was just walking in the markets, and then he saw a book that belongs to us, belongs to the Shia.
Yeah.
He was about to buy it, where a person came. They say he was from the British Embassy.
Okay.
And he offered more to the lady who was selling it. So she said, "You know what? I'm gonna sell it to him because he's offering more."
Offering more money.
So Sayyid Mar'ash al-Najafi, he said to her, "Just give me this night, just this night,
Yeah.
that I copy this book, and I'll bring it back to you tomorrow. I give you money,
just to copy
and he can buy it from you, just to copy it."
Yeah.
And he took the book that very night. He went to the hawza and he called out all of his students, the طلاب العلم. He said, "Tonight you have to copy it."
Everyone's copying.
We're not talking about photocopier.
No, everyone's handwriting each paper. Everyone's got a paper probably to.
So our books were stolen. They were bought to be in the museums.
Yeah.
They were burnt down. They were thrown into the Euphrates. Whatever we have.
You mentioned a beautiful thing last time we were speaking about Yemen and how they have a lot of books there that they have absolutely no idea what the value and the worth of these books are.
Yeah, I saw it once in Iraq. There was a library in Suq al-Huwaish, in Najaf al-Ashraf. And there was a guy who was selling books. And then I looked in the corner, there were a pile of books, all calligraphies, handwritten. And I told him, "What are those books?" He said, "I have no idea." And he's very much an educated person. He was in the hawza.
Yeah.
I said to him, "You should know. Make a copy of them before they are destroyed. Some kind of a, I don't know, fire or a flood.
Water damage or anything.
Yeah, water damage. And he said, "I have no idea, Sayyid. I don't know." I said, "Put some time and some effort. Take them to the hawza. Let them research.
To preserve these historical
So it's our shortcomings somehow. We have some shortcomings when it comes to that. But we should...
I feel like there's also... on the other side, on the just to have a positive side of it, is that we have extremely good resources now available online, like Shia libraries online on any website. Sorry, online you go on Shia library, for example, or Shia books.
ChatGPT.
Even before ChatGPT was there, I could access any book that I want and read, and flip through the pages of these books. And that first, I think, when it first started, was people photocopying page by page and uploading it when internet speeds weren't as high. In this day and age, we have digital books and digital copies, so we are a lot more blessed in this day and age. And as you said, with ChatGPT, although I think you always need to verify whenever you get something.
While you were speaking, I'm just writing down on ChatGPT. I have the premium version of it. Give me 5 ahadith from Imam Alkadham. And he gave me 5 ahadith from Imam Alkadham. One, the value of intellect. Of course, I'm not saying anything for you to just...
These are not verified yet. We're just...
No. I'm not getting paid by ChatGPT or giving them any kind of verification. But this is...
It's a tool that any tool out there you can use for your benefit if you know how to use it properly.
But you see how easy right now is. If I type in, give me 5 hadith from Imam Al-Kadham, he gave me the first one, that it's the value of intellect, Tuhaf al-Uqul.
Yeah.
That's a verified book, And then the second one is Patience in the Times of Hardship. That's from Bahar al-Anwar. Easy. It's just right there.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting here. The AC is on. I'm having more coffee. I'm having conversation with you,
Exactly.
and I'm just sitting there. I'm just going through number 3, control of anger, and he knows what to say from Al-Kafi, and then you get the gist of it. That I can ask it to give me a hadith in Arabic, Farsi, in English, Urdu, whatever the language is, a translation of that in any language I want, the original and the translation, and he gives it to me. Allam al-Amini went all the way to Damascus, and
for one hadith.
One hadith. He was told there is a hadith, there is a book that has a hadith about Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib. He went all the way to Damascus, knocked on the door, and the person, the scholar, he wasn't from the Shia sect. He was actually a Sunni scholar. When he opened the door, he said, "You came all the way from, I don't know, maybe he was in Iran." He said, "You came all the way from there just for this hadith." He said, "For that for that book." And he said to him, "All right, this is the book." He looked her over and he saw there is hadith about, I think, Abu Dharr al-Ghafari, al-Haq ma'a Abu Dharr al-Ghafari. And he said, "You know about Imam Ali, the difference between Imam Ali and Abu Dharr is that the Prophet said, Aliyun ma'al haq wal haqq ma'a Ali." That's a difference. But just imagine, he went through this journey just for one hadith, one book.
About Abu Dharr, and not even one of them.
About that. Yet we have so many ahadith, alhamdulillah, we have so many lectures, we have so much resources from YouTube, from ChatGPT, books that you can download and you can read.
It's truly a blessing that we need to take advantage of. But I feel like a lot of people in this day and age are conditioned, and society has conditioned them to want that quick fix, that quick 5 second, you've lost my attention, 3 seconds, you've lost my attention. Give me what I want straight away. And it starts from early age, I think from childhood, when you have all of these, cartoons and things that children watch that are quickly changing, that make sure to keep their attention on the screen. And then as we grow up, when we're scrolling on social media and apps now where you just scroll, you don't need to do anything and you just flip.
And it's a sickness.
It is truly an addiction and a sickness where I know people and I've seen people where they cannot take their eyes off that screen. Wherever they are, wherever they're sitting. And the other day during the holidays, we went camping with the family and a few other friends and their families. And it was an off-grid location.
No internet.
30 minutes off-grid. There's no internet. There's no reception. There's absolutely nothing. And you literally just you're forced to sit down and talk. Sit down and socialize. And the kids actually loved it.
Oh, that's good.
Even though they're used to, having access to, TVs and screen time, they actually loved it. And my son said to me, "Look, this is amazing." And they didn't really do much. It was just sitting in nature, campfire at night and whatnot. But it truly got me thinking, is like, we don't need our screens. We don't need to be in front of them 24/7. We'll survive like 2-3 days without them.
I was telling my wife the other day, I said to her, my children were watching cartoon.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm always there.
Yeah.
Seeing what they're watching.
Important, yeah.
And we have this kind of like a satellite thing that it's on internet. Yeah. You can get all sorts of channels. Yeah. And I get them to watch the Arabic cartoons, the ones I know of. Yeah. Yeah, so I told her, you remember our days? I'm much older than her, but in my days, there was this 19-inch TV with this big back of it. Yeah, yeah. And then the cartoon was only on Fridays for 1 hour. And in my day, it was on a Friday, 1 hour, Captain Majid. Yeah.
Captain Majid, Adnan Walina.
Adnan Walina, those things.
I used to watch cassettes of Adnan Walina. My dad went to Syria and bought me the cassettes. VHS tapes, and I used to watch them at home. So that's where I think my Arabic also improved from.
Yeah, Adnan Walina, Abbisides. And I said to her, subhanAllah, now these kids, they have so much.
Even later on, like you'd come back from school and whatever's on TV, you watch, and once it's gone, it's gone.
It's gone. 12 a.m. I still remember 12 a.m. The person they have on all channels that we had in Iran. There were about 3 or 4 channels, no more than that. 12 a.m. There was a person reciting Quran. Yeah. And then he just goes to static. He just, we are finished.
That's it, done.
We're coming back 6 a.m.
Go to sleep.
Go to sleep.
Yeah, exactly. Go to sleep.
The other day I was just scrolling on that machine, on that system thing, and I was seeing baby TV. Yeah, there's a whole channel for babies.
Oh, yeah.
We're not talking about food channel or travel channel, a baby channel. That I have a son, Hashim, he's about 3 years old. And I said to him, "Do you like this one?" He said, "Yes, yes, I like." So he's 3.
My son's addicted to Miss Rachel. So
yes, here we go. There is so much out
it's
there.
Pollution. I see like a visual pollution. There's so much out there that you'll never be able to watch and watch everything. So there's so much endless options for you to watch.
That brings me to this hadith. Let me see if I can find it. There is a hadith of Imam Al-Kadham where he said, divide your time into 3. The
Time
Imam
management,
said,
very important.
Time management. He said, 1, that's the way of Rasulullah. The Imam is mentioning what Rasulullah used to do. And Rasulullah is khairul khalaq ajma'in. The Rasulullah divided his time, it is narrated by Imam Al-Kadham, into 3. So Rasulullah gave 1 for Allah, worship, and then 1 for yourself. So he's dividing it. And the 3rd for your family. 1 complements the other.
Exactly.
1 cannot be by itself. لا رهبانية في الإسلام.
Ahsant, that's what I was going to say.
So you cannot
moderation.
Ahsantum, you cannot be praying day and night. You say, you know what, come and feed me. On YouTube the other day I was watching this documentary about some kind of monks, I think in Nepal, where the village cooks for them and then they feed them. They come and Gordon Ramsay actually he started cooking, and then he brought this plate. Gordon Ramsay, the known chef, he started feeding this monk, and the monk, he just opens his mouth, puts it in his mouth. If I do this in the mosque, they kick me out. It's always saying, get out.
What are you doing?
Sometimes they don't even bring me water in the mosque. Just imagine I open my mouth and say, come and feed me. So this monk opens his mouth.
That's crazy.
And what happens is they feed them. They don't work.
Exactly. And the priests and whatnot, and you see all the issues that happens with them and them not getting married and them not. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Rasulullah lived a life where, exactly as you said, لا رهبانية في الدين بل جاء بالحنفية. It's like you attend your family, you pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you live your life. And there were those people at the time of Rasulullah who assumed that they were better than Rasulullah. They were sitting on the mountain, they were fasting every day, they were praying, they completely isolated themselves to a point where they started thinking amongst themselves. They said, you know what? We're better than Rasulullah. Rasulullah has his wives and he's eating and going out and he's not fasting every day and whatnot. We're 100% dedicating ourselves. And then they came and they had the audacity to say that to Rasulullah. And Rasulullah says to them, he says, وَلَكِنِّي أَعْبَدُ مِنْكُمْ. He says, I am more of a worshipper than you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because everything that I'm doing is something that Allah wants from me. Allah wants me to attend to my family. Allah wants me to live my life. Allah wants me to do all of these things.
Take care of myself.
Yeah, you've just taken one side of it and you've just, so moderation.
And one, so we said worship. One for yourself, you take care of yourself. You know, I need a haircut, I need a shower, I need to eat, I need to go exercise, I need
learn,
whatever it is. Take care of yourself, and then family. What does the family need? See, one helps the other if they complement one another. That brings us to the hadith of Imam Al-Kadham. That one day a person saw Imam Al-Kadham in the field and he was working, and he was sweating, and he came to the Imam Al-Kadham and he said to him, "Look at you doing this." The Imam said to him, "Listen, if I die at this very moment, I die a mujahid." الكال على عياله كالمجاهد في سبيل الله. And what do you want me to do? Put my hand out for you to feed me? For you to give me a donation?
There's no shame in any.
Imam is working. Imam Al-Kadham is there working.
All of our Imams, prophets of God.
So this is very important. And you know, the Shabab today, the other day, one of the Shabab called me and he said to me, Sayyidna, I haven't been to the mosque for a while. I said, of course you haven't been into the mosque. Maybe he's listening right now. You've been busy. You just got engaged. You're working. He said, yes, I'm working this job and that job. And he's not even married yet. I said, take it easy on you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you the rizq. And I mentioned to him this very hadith of Imam Al-Kadham, talking about Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, how he divided his life into 3 things, 3 parts. One worship, one for yourself, and one for your family. Are you better than Rasulullah? Do the same. Why are you always thinking that I have to work 24/7?
So, you know, there is a big problem today, especially with the youth. And it comes from, you know, again, social media, social norms, where, you know, you need to buy a house. I've spoken to a few of the youth and they're like, we can't get married, I need to buy a house. I said, who says you need to buy a house? Which rule did you hear, or who said that, you know, you cannot get married and complete half your religion and save yourself from, you know, the falling into the wrong path, but you have to save, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it's getting harder and harder, and mortgages are hard.
Sydney is unbelievable now.
Why can't you live in a simple way and complete half your religion? And you know, when I got married, I was living in a small granny flat with my parents for a couple of years, and Alhamdulillah, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala has promised, وَإِن يَكُونُوا فُقَرَاء يُغْنِيهُمُ اللَّهُ بِفَضْلِهِ. And that happened with me, and I'm not the only person. I'm sure a lot of people. Once you get married, Allah opens up the doors. You get married, you get a good job. You have a child, you get another promotion. You get Allah Subhanahu wa Taala opens the doors of rizq. And scientifically, it's also proven the same thing, that a married man earns more than a single man, even in scientific research, because they feel more responsibility, because, you know, they have this sense. So, yeah, to delay getting married and to delay all these things, well, because I need to achieve all of these things on my to-do list. I want to buy a house and buy a good car and travel all around the world and see everything there is. Then what's the point? You know, you're meant to do all of these things with your partner. You're meant to struggle with your partner. You know, work together to build your future, and that's what builds a strong relationship.
Say the person who has this mentality, he's looking down to Allah.
Not trusting Allah.
Not trusting Allah, that Allah is not going to provide. Allah provided for you before you were even born. In your mother's tomb, your mother was pregnant with you, and Allah was providing to you. You didn't even know how it was happening, but it was happening. But this method brings me to that person who came to the Prophet and he said, "Man yuhyi al-'idhama wa hiya ramim." He started crushing the bone and he said, "Who's going to bring this back to life?" Some people, they have the same mentality, that how is this going to happen? He's now 35, 36. He said, how is God going to give me money for me to provide for my family? Until now, look at you. You are the same. They prove that Allah provides. MashaAllah, look at how you live in your life.
There's tough times, there's good times, but you're still here, you're still around, you're still healthy.
Your work, of course, it doesn't mean that I don't do anything, but for you to sacrifice everything for work, that I'm going to work, I'm going to buy and then get married, that's not the right thing to say. And for the ones that demand a young man to have a house and then he gets married, well, did you have a house before you got married?
No, exactly. Yeah.
We were at someone's house the other day and we were doing the khatab, you know, the khutbah. We were there, we were mashaya, you know.
Yeah,
mashi. And we were there with this young man and they said to me, "Attach Sayyidina, you speak." And the father came of the girl and he was like demanding this and that. He said that he has to have a house, he has to have a car, he has to have a good job.
Good income.
Good income, a career, not so like any other job, you know.
Not a laborer, not any other thing. No, he needs a good career, university degree. And he was talking, and everyone was looking at me like, what is the Sayyid response? And the young man, he was just looking at me like, Sayyid, get involved. And I asked him this very question. I said to him, Hajj, just a question, be honest. Did you have a house when you got married? He said, no, Sayyidna, life has changed and this. I said, life has changed, but God hasn't changed. Exactly.
Allah Rahim ba'ibadeh. Did you have a house? He said, no, in Baghdad. He was living in Baghdad. He's from Baghdad. He said, I don't have a house there. I don't have anything. I was renting a small place in Baghdad, and it was a nightmare. We had 3 children in this very small place, and then later on,
and now
we migrated, and now he said, now I have a company, I have this, and he has some kind of a company. And then you lived your life like this. Why do you make it harder on this young man? Yani, why do you want demanding for you? Inshallah.
And who says that the person that has all of these things that you want is going to make your daughter happy?
Exactly.
It might be the opposite. It might be the one who doesn't have all of these things but has a good heart. His religion is right. Islam has a solution for everything. Deen and khulq. He's got good manners, he's got deen, but unfortunately our society is so far, sometimes in certain things, it's so far from religion. Religion has a solution. That's right. But we follow,
Imam Hussein said it. Imam Hussein has this beautiful saying. He said that الناس على دين other hadith. The Imam says that الدين لعق على ألسنتهم يحوطونه ما حطت معايشهم فإذا محصوا بالبلاء قلت ديانهم. الدين لعق على
it's just talk.
ألسنتهم. Talk. If it says, if religion is according to their liking and their lifestyle, he's with religion. He loves the religion. But if religion says this and says that, demands this or that, he's not with that religion. He's against the religion.
Even in the Quran, I believe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِن مَسَّهُمُ الضُّرَّ وإن مستهم سيئة قالوا هذا من عند الله.
هذا من عند الله. Yes,
that's
this is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I tell you, when I have a lot of divorce cases that come to me. I have cases, for example, a person who is very rich. He has a construction company. He's building houses. He's building granny flats. He's building duplexes. You know how much they make. He's making hundreds of thousands of dollars, but the woman hates him. She hates his guts.
Yeah, because he's never there.
He's never there. There's no respect. There is nothing. There is no life.
That's the thing. You have to be careful what you wish for. You want money. Well, money doesn't just come easy. That husband that you expect to be really rich and have a lot of money, that means he's going to have to spend a lot of time away from you. He's going to have to actually work for that money, away from you, away from the children. So be careful what you wish for.
And he was sitting right there. She was complaining, and he was just listening to her. And then he said this to her. And he said, I believe what he said is true. He said to her, I'm providing for you the best life. You have a mansion you're living in. You have a AMG car under your feet. Whenever you want to go on a holiday, you go on a holiday business class. If I'm not there, you have no right to complain. You understand? But this kind of a materialistic life is not a guarantee for happiness.
Well, that's the thing. He's provided her all the materialistic things that she was chasing, that she wanted from him, yet she wanted both. So you can't have both. You either accept a simple life with, your partner being present and involved in your life and whatnot, or if you want, materialistic life, then obviously he has a right to say, look, you wanted that, and then I have to be away from you. So
I got the opposite as well. I have couples, they come and they married. Actually, just a couple of days ago, I had a couple here. They came to do their civil marriage. They don't have much, but they love each other. And I said to them, hold on to this love, because this will continue to grow.
Exactly.
Because it's not about materialistic life. The best marriage ever in history is a marriage of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib, Fatima al-Zahra, Zawaj al-Nurayn. But it was the simplest one. 500 dirham was their dowry. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam,
they bought some perfume and a piece of cloth or something.
That was it. The companions that came to the Prophet, they said to Ya Rasulullah, what kind of a wedding do you want? How is it going to be? Rasulullah said, there's no much. They offered to the Prophet, we're going to cook. Because Imam Ali didn't have anything.
He sold his shield. He was going to sell his sword or his shield. Rasulullah says, no, your sword is needed for Islam. Sell your shield.
You don't need the shield.
You don't need the shield. You Ali ibn Abi Talib. Salamullahi alayh.
They cooked for him, and they gave for halawiyat, for the pastry, for some sweets. They gave a plate of a dates. Tamur, that's it. Today you see the weddings. The other day someone came to me and he said to me, she's demanding for our wedding to be this and that and that. We have to do this. One of the things she's asking for me to have on the wedding, slow dance in the middle of the hall with mixed gathering, music and it's a spotlight on top of us, and we dancing together. She's a Shia. She's a Muwali. She loves Ahl al-Bayt. Some, I don't know exactly what you can say there, but truly, you really want to get married like this, and you want to continue your life to be
That's the thing. People go into debt, Sayyid. People go into debt to get married, which is crazy when you think about it.
Unfortunately, yes.
And that's where a lot of issues stem. And again, social norms. Living in this country, comparing yourself to others, and you see a false image online of happiness. These people who have all this money and they spent all this money on this and they did this in their wedding, and they got these limos, these Rolls Royces, and a convoy of cars and motorbikes, and they hired the best hall and did that, so they must be happy. And they're sharing their life online. I still remember this story in the US where this couple were vlogging every single day, and they had this caravan kind of camper, and they were going across the US, and everyone thought, these people are the happiest couple, they're the best couple. And he ended up murdering her. He ended up murdering her into their journey, like halfway into their journey, ended up murdering her, and they were looking for her for months until they found her body. But you never know what the truth is. Nothing online is as it seems, or most things aren't as they seem.
We had the similar ones, but he didn't end up murdering her. They got divorced in Dubai. There was these two, Khalid and someone. I forgot her name. but they were living this kind of false, image.
Yeah, people who share their life online 24/7.
Yeah,
every day. Yeah.
I remember once a lady told me why I can't live a life like hers, and I said, who?
Yeah.
I didn't know about this lady.
Yeah.
She said this influencer. She goes here and there and there. Subhanallah, a couple of months later, she got divorced, and they hated each other.
Yeah.
And when they were divorced, they start talking, and the lid was open, the can of worms.
Yeah.
I hated her, and I hated. No, this kind of image is not true. If you want to live your life, the perfect life, at your ability, of course, you follow a perfect person.
Role models.
Role models that are perfect, that are the symbol of perfection. Imam Musa ibn Ja'far al-Kadhim is one of them. Imam Musa ibn Ja'far al-Kadhim, he married many women, and the Sada of the Musa was there more than
majority.
The
Musawis are the dominant.
Yeah, the dominant, and he had 30 up to 32, 33 of his children. And if you go around Iraq and Iran, the majority of the Imamzadas, they call them, they are Musawis. They are the sons of
brothers of the Imams or the sons of the
They're the sons of Imam Musa ibn Ja'far al-Kadhim. One of them is Imam Ali ibn Musa al-Rida.
Yeah.
And we have throughout in Baghdad, we have throughout Iraq and in Iran.
Yeah, in Qom, Yasir al-Nasr,
Fatima al-Mahsum in Qom. She's one of the daughters of Imam. Imam al-Kadhim, he had Fatima al-Kubra, Fatima al-Sughra, Fatima al-Wusta, Fatima al-Mahsuma. She, as some historians say, she was either Fatima al-Kubra or she was Fatima al-Mahsuma other than the Kubra.
Yeah.
Because Imam Kadhim had four Fatimas, as some mention. And he had, of course, Imam Ali ibn Musa al-Rida and other of his sons. Muhammad ibn No, that's not.
I know Yasir al-Nasr because we go visit them when we go to Qom.
There are so many. This is the Abbisides. You see, the Abbisides, they killed every one of them. And now you kill Imam Musa ibn Ja'far al-Kadhim. You have him in the dungeon. You have all of these. Why do you kill?
They're chasing after. Yeah, they were all being chased after. That's why they ended up in Iraq.
So, for example, when Fatima al-Mahsuma, how did she end up in Qom?
Exactly.
Was because she was coming to Khurasan to see her brother Imam Ali ibn Musa al-Rida, and she had in the caravan her brothers.
Then they had to be dispersed. Yeah,
they actually came near Qom, and they were approached by an army of the Abbasides. They were killed.
Yeah. She
became very sick. She entered into Qom, and the whole thing is that she later on died in Qom, and we have the shrine of Sayyida Fatima al-Ma'suma salamullah alayha in Qom al-Muqaddasa. But this is, of course, the history of Ahlul Bayt salamullah alayhi. None of them were given freedom.
No, exactly. And another beautiful thing that you also mentioned in the Friday prayer is that the Imam's sufferings and the Imam's calamities that they face, each of them was different than the other.
That's right.
And it is kind of a message for us to learn from that. No one can say that, I'm going through something that, the Imams, the greatest, Rasulullah and the Imams, the greatest humans to ever live on earth, they all face different sufferings.
Different sufferings. Allah wanted this, that they went through this. Later on, everyone comes on and says, you know what, I'm going through whatever. My haqq was usurped. Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib. My family members died. Imam al-Hussein. I was betrayed. Imam al-Hasan. And so on and so forth. When it comes, for example, to Imam al-Hussein, مصيبة ما أعظمها وأعظم رزيتها في الإسلام. When it comes to our Fawatih, we mentioned this.
هونت رزيتكم رزيان التي سبقت. Yeah, like exactly like that musibah that Imam al-Hussein faced will make all of our calamities easy.
Imam al-Rida said it, and I mentioned this in Abu Anwar's the other day when we had the Salat al-Mayyit. I said this very thing, that Imam Ali ibn Musa al-Rida on the first day of Muharram said to Rayyan ibn Shabib, in kunt bakiyan li shay'in fabki lil-Husayn. That means that any musibah, calamity comes to you, you cry for Imam al-Hussein. Because if you think about a brother, Imam al-Hussein lost his brother, Abu Fadl Abbas. If you think about a son, Ali al-Akbar. If you think of a nephew, Qasim ibn al-Hasan. If you think of another son, an infant, Abdullah al-Radiyah. So different ages. Even different ages, it's there. So
seeing his sister and his woman, the haram of Rasulullah being attacked, and إن كنت باكيا لشيء فابكي للحسين سلام الله عليه. Any musibah,
كل المصائب قد تهون سوى التي for Imam al-Hussein. All of the calamities, they come down to the musibah of Imam al-Hussein, because the musibah of Imam al-Hussein musibatan ma a'zamaha.
And all the Imams said, Imam al-Hasan, even before it happened, he says to him, La yawm ka yawmaka ya Aba Abdullah. He's literally on his deathbed, and Imam al-Hussein is there crying for his brother, and he says to him, La yawm ka yawmaka ya Aba Abdullah, that your day will be like no other day.
No other day, like yours, ya Aba Abdullah. And now Imam Musa ibn Ja'far al-Kadhim in a Tamura.
Exactly.
He's in a dungeon of a dungeon that he didn't know day from night.
That even his body was attacked. Even after his dying, they attacked his body with the arrows. And for what reason? For what reason? Because, you know, they saw them as a threat to their rule, and that they were the rightful rulers, they were the rightful khulafa, the rightful imams that Rasulullah and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has appointed. And that was the reason. That was enough reason for them to all be killed and viciously killed.
Imam Musa ibn Ja'far al-Kadhim, he said to one of his companions, he said to him that in a couple of days we will meet. He said, Matal Faraj, Ibn Rasulullah. That means you're going to be released. The Imam looked at him and he said, Inshallah, a couple of days.
On this day, you will see me.
On this day, on the Jisr al-Baghdad, on the bridge of Baghdad, Inshallah, you see me. And he said that I was standing there looking at the gates, and then suddenly I saw 4 men coming out with
and he had informed all the Shia, and they were there
all the Shia, because they were happy that Imam is coming out. Imam Musa ibn Ja'far al-Kadhim. They came out with this tabut, the coffin, and they placed it on the ground, and they left. They left. We were standing there waiting. So we approached that, and we took off the lid, the hasira that was put on the kafir, on the tabut, and we saw Imam Musa ibn Ja'far al-Kadhim martyred. He himself said that the narrator, he said that I saw a person passing by, and I know him to be a doctor.
He knows medicine.
He knows medicine. He knows this. And I called him out. I said to him, "Can you come?" He said, "Yes." What do you want from me? He said, "Can you check on him?
How did he die?
How did he die?" And he checked on the Imam Salamullah alayhi, and he said, "Does he have any tribe? Does he have anyone?" He said, "Yes, we are his Shia." He said he was killed. He was masmoom. He was poisoned. The hadith said that after they saw these, they carried him. They saw that he's heavy. He shouldn't be heavy. He's very lean, and he was in the dungeon for years and years. He was just given some water and some bread. They put him down to check why, and they saw the chains are
shackles and the chains.
The shackles and the chains. So this is Imam Musa ibn Ja'far al-Kadhim, salamullah alayhi. He was killed, he was martyred, madloom, in the worst conditions. He was poisoned. Even in the dungeon, he was a symbol of what? Of patience. The lady that they took to the Imam,
and that's his title, Sayyidina. Sorry to cut you, but Kadhim al-Ghayth. What is Kadhim al-Ghayth? Literally, the person who suppresses and is patient and holds back even when they have feelings of anger and feelings of whatnot. What Kadhimin al-Ghayth.
Yeah, and Imam, subhanallah, when you go to the shrine of Imam al-Kadhim in Baghdad, I don't know if you have felt this. It's very similar to Mashhad al-Muqaddasa.
Yeah, it is.
Very similar.
It is, yeah.
It's Imam Musa ibn Ja'far al-Kadhim and Imam Muhammad ibn Ali al-Jawad.
His grandson.
Yeah, so grandson.
And the father is in
when you enter it, you feel like you're in Mashhad al-Muqaddasa. You feel this calmness. And the ziyarah of the Jawadain, salamullah alayhim, Kadhimain, Jawadain. Baghdad itself is an ugly city in a matter of someone might be from Baghdad. They say, what do you mean by that? I mean, history-wise.
History-wise, of course. We mentioned how they built the city.
But with the presence of Imam al-Kadhim and Imam al-Jawad,
brings light to it.
He has become this beautiful city.
Exactly.
Because Baghdad was established like that. Baghdad was established to be the capital of the Abbisides.
100%.
Yeah,
and that's where they established the 4 schools of thought.
Yeah.
That's where they were established, and to combat the other side, and so, as you said, Ahsanta. And even to this day, what angers me and really upsets me is that to this day, we have Shara al-Rashid, and we have all of these streets and symbols and whatnot of this person, while the Imam is also buried there. But we still have these remnants, and what they teach children in schools over there, they still haven't changed that. it still mentions them as, these rightful caliphs and whatnot. So, which is unfortunate, but
very unfortunate.
But regardless of what they want to do or what they want to say, what street they want to name, they will never be able to come close to even 1% or even a small fraction of what Imam Al-Kadham and Imam Al-Jawad had to offer.
They try, whatever they do, in the end of the day, truth comes out. وقل جاء الحق وزهق الباطل إن الباطل كان زهوقا. Batil, falsehood, these fabrications in the hadith and whatever they are, no one in their right mind accepts them. Now if I tell you a fadila, a manqaba of Imam Ali, but I say this is this is manqaba of another person.
It doesn't suit.
It doesn't.
It just doesn't flow.
No one. If I say a hadith, I mention a hadith from Imam Ali, but I say this is from Fulan. You say, no, where did you get this from? I don't think so. It doesn't come in the narrative. It's just very much different. Same thing with the Ahlul Bayt. When you say they are the rightful khulafa, look at how they live their life. For example, Hajjaj ibn Yusuf al-Thaqafi, la'natullah alayh. Hajjaj ibn Yusuf al-Thaqafi, whenever he wanted to eat, drink, whatever it was, he had to see someone being slaughtered in front of him.
He was thirsty for blood,
Thirsty for blood. Hajjaj ibn Yusuf al-Thaqafi, other school of thought, they say, he killed many people, but he built a lot of mosques. So what if he built mosques? So what if he built mosques? That justifies
the blood of a single Muslim is more dearer in the eyes of Allah than the Hadm al-Kaaba. Not even any mosque. The house of Allah, you can demolish it. That's less in the eyes of Allah than killing a single innocent Muslim soul.
He was brought up, when he was born, he didn't accept his mother's milk. He didn't accept it. So the mother, and this goes back home to who the mother is, plays a big part. The mother, she thought to herself, what do I do? What do I do? She took some blood and she put it on her nipple to feed him. And he started suckling from her.
In between what you're saying, another interesting fact is the entire tribe were haters of Ahlul Bayt.
All of them.
Ju'da, who poisoned Imam Hasan, and her father and her brother, they're all from the same tribe. But from amongst that tribe, who all were haters of Ahlul Bayt, came in Mukhtar al-Thaqafi, him and his uncle. They're only two.
And Mukhtar did what he did, the right thing.
Exactly.
And subhanAllah, if you look at the other school of thought, they say he's the one.
He's the bad.
That bad one, and Hajjaj is a good one. Hajjaj ibn
Built
Yusuf al-Thaqafi, he went on the minbar as soon as he got into Kufa, I think. He went on the minbar and he said to the people, this is it. You defy me in any way or form, you will be slaughtered. Qambar, he killed Qambar. He killed Qumayl ibn Ziyad. He killed some of the best companions of Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib, salamullah alayh. And he sits down and he eats while someone is being killed in front of him.
Opens his appetite.
It brings his appetite
unless there's blood.
There's blood. The tyrants, they live their lives like this. But now if you look at the shrine of Imam Musa ibn Ja'far al-Kadham, the Zawar, they go to the shrine. The millions and millions of Zawar, that shows you the haqq
is always victorious.
Always victorious. No matter what you do, you kill and kill. Same thing, for example, in our lifetime we saw it. Me and you, we saw it. This is not just history we mentioned from the Pharaoh time.
History repeats itself.
Saddam. How many years did Saddam rule?
40 years.
30 odd years. And as soon as he collapsed, I remember when Saddam was taken, before he was taken, where he was hiding, we were in Iraq. We were in Iraq and Saddam wasn't taken yet. And it was still, still some of the Ba'athi parties, they're fighting, and it was very hard. But my father, for some reason, he decided to go to Iraq. He said, I want to go. We want to visit. And you know how they are.
My dad was the same. As soon as it happened, he was on the first flight.
We want to go. So the first Arba'in, it was 2004. First Arba'in. I don't know if you went there. I remember.
First time I went was 2005.
2000, similar. So you just imagine, this guy ruled for 37 years, I think.
Almost 40 years,
almost 40 years. And every year he made it more tough decisions, and he made it harder and harder for people to go to the shrine of Imam Hussein.
Which what the Abbisides was doing also. They tried to remove the shrine, they tried to hide it. We'll cut off your hands, we'll cut off your feet, we'll kill every 10th one. Saddam followed the same thing. Because they know that if people start going and walking, and millions of people, they're going to destroy him straight away.
It's 2004, we saw it.
Yeah.
I saw the miracle of Allah. I remember I looked around and I said, this is a miracle of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I remembered the hadith of Lady Zainab salamullah alayha, that she said to Imam Zain al-Abidin before they left Karbala, وَكَانَ يَجُودُ بِنَفْسِهِ, yes. And she said to him,
yeah, it was a promise. It was a promise.
Yeah.
There will be a dome that will be erected here, and millions of people
Exactly.
that will come and visit him and support him. And you know, today you have millions and tens of millions of people shouting, "Labbaika ya Hussein."
Yeah.
And
even with
my most moving moment that I experienced was in Raqda Tuwairij. I'm not sure if you've taken part in it.
Yes.
Again, 2005, the 10th of Muharram, and running from, you know, we didn't go from Tuwairij, but we started, you know, probably halfway through the journey.
Yeah.
And then when you get there and the shrine is in front of you and you're screaming Labbaik ya Hussein, it literally feels like you're there on the 10th of Muharram and you're answering the call of Abdullah. And that truly is like extremely emotional and
yeah, it is. Yeah.
very moving moment.
The last time I went to Arba'in of Imam al-Hussein, I remember I arrived 1 day prior to Arba'in. And my auntie, she's in Najaf.
Yeah.
I went to her just to say salam, and I had my big luggage, you know, the big bag. I said to her, keep it with you, keep it safe. Where are you going right now? I said, I'm going walking. You're not tired? I said to her, I am tired, but I had my shower in Doha Airport for the ziyarah, and I'm keen to go. Actually, in Doha Airport, I saw Yunus bin Mahmoud. What's his name? The captain of Iraq, the old one.
Yunus Mahmoud.
Yunus Mahmoud. Yes, I have a picture of it with him. He was there. He was walking around.
Yeah, because he resides there. Yeah.
Yes, I saw him and I said to him, "Are you going to Arba'in?" And he's not.
He's not a follower.
He's not a follower. And he just looked at me and said, "No, I'm not. I just wanted to push some buttons."
Yeah, good on you.
And alhamdulillah, I was fortunate enough that I found a bathroom, a shower. I had my shower there for ziyarah. I arrived Najaf. I put my stuff there. It was about 10 a.m. And I said to her, "Ma salama," my auntie. And I went to the first pole. I started walking. You know how hard it is for someone from Australia.
I think I was just going to say, people from Australia who are going to Ziyarat al-Arba'in, I think they get the most hasanat.
Yes.
Because we have the niyyah here. Because that's what it says. We have the niyyah of where we're going to ziyarah.
New Zealand, maybe more.
Maybe New Zealand, only New Zealand. Okay, we'll give them that. That's the only thing we'll give them.
Yeah.
But you have that niyyah of going to ziyarah and all of those thousands and thousands of kilometers, that 14-hour flight and then the other almost 2-hour flight. That's all of these kilometers, your intention. And then that happened to me once where I arrived not 1 day but 4 days before, and I hadn't been to ziyarah in a very long time. And again, jumped on a plane from here. The intention was going to ziyarah. We arrived the next morning, Fajr. We left for 4 days of walking.
Wow.
And then got to the Imam, and I remember just sitting there and just crying for like hours. It was like so emotional because in my mind I was like, I left my door at home with the intention, and I've flown and I've gone from one country to the other, and I've arrived and I've walked for 4 days and gone through all of this, you know, physically tired, but emotionally, like, it was really, really amazing and fulfilling.
The first time you see the dome.
Yeah.
So I walked, and subhanallah, Allah opens up a lot of opportunities. I met my cousins. Suddenly I saw them, and they said, "You here?" I said, "Yes, I'm here." I had my amama and the whole thing on, and I just had a backpack. And then we walked together. The next day, that was Arba'in, morning time, we arrived. So just imagine how much I was walking.
That's a lot of walking, actually, from Najaf to Karbala.
That was a lot of walking. So the first time I saw the Qubbah, and you said it, physically you destroyed. Yeah, you are done for. As soon as you see the Qubbah and you scream, and not just you have the thousands of people all screaming. Back then it was allowed for you to have the flag of your country. Now I think they made it illegal or something. They said
still saw a few, but then you have these random people who try and stop it. But I think it's a beautiful thing to showcase to the world that people are coming from all around the world. I remember someone that I know who had the Australian flag, and he's like, we were questioning, which flag is this? Is this, you know, this country's flag? He's like, no, this is Australia.
It's beautiful. You see a lot of. I was walking that very night. Actually, it was about 2 a.m. And my body was like just walking, and your mind is like on autopilot, and you're not thinking anything. You're just walking.
Can't feel the pain.
And no one is saying anything. Everyone is quiet, and I'm looking around, and I'm just looking at the flags, different flags, and you know, Ya
people
Hussein,
of all colors
countries.
and races and ethnicities and cultures.
And those moments,
just
you just look at it. You look, they're all walking with one goal to reach Karbala. Everyone is quiet, but you just hear the shoes like that, and everyone is going there to Karbala al-Muqaddasa. The first time you see the Qubba of Imam al-Hussein, the dome of Imam al-Hussein, everyone screams out, Labbaik ya Hussein. It's out of this world.
As soon as you see the dome, all of your pain's gone, everything's gone.
It's gone.
Subhanallah.
And it's only Imam Hussein that has that effect. Only Imam Hussein. The Prophet said that for you, تحت قبتك الدعاء مستجاب.
Exactly.
And the turab, your turab has healing power. فيه الشفاء. And of course, the dhurriya, your dhurriya, the tus'a of the dhurriya are imams. Ahl al-Bayt alayhim afdalus salati was salam. All of them, they do have all kind of attributes by one Imam.
These are karamat from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
It's only from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's Imam Hussein salamullah alayhi. And Allah has intended that for Imam al-Hussein salamullah alayhi. And inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the tawfiq.
May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the opportunity to visit the grave of Imam Hussein in this life.
Inshallah.
And visit Imam Alkadham and all of our Imams. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us on the day of judgment their intercession and the intercession of their grandfather. Our dear viewers, thank you for joining us in this episode, and we look forward to seeing you again next week on our episode 3 of Alwasi Vibes. Thank you very much, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.